half, and I twisted it up. And now you can come along with my journey to find out how I'm going to trim my hair. I haven't trimmed my hair in a little bit, so um, yeah, we'll do this journey together. So starting off, this is where it's at. And I'll probably be facing this way a lot just because I need to use the mirror. So first I'm going to take it down. If you want to see how I flat ironed my hair, blow dried it, you can watch the previous video. 2021 flat iron natural hair, whatever I called it, something like that. So you want to have some clips ready. You want to have some combs ready. And I'm not going to take off a whole lot. So first I'm just going to part it down the middle right now just because that's just how I had it. First I'm going to comb it down with the big tooth comb. Now I'm going to use the small tooth comb because my hair is, it's not like, you know, super duper straight. Like there's still a lot of fluffiness to it. So I'm going to try to kind of comb it down to get the fluffiness out. Excuse me. Let's see what I'm working with. So you can see like there's some scraggly ends in there that need to be trimmed. In there. Okay. Now I think I'm gonna work in a smaller section. So I'm gonna part it in half, like, or maybe not quite half, but I'm gonna part off the bottom part. So let me do that first. So kind of going like about halfway down the length of the ear. Across. All right. It's interesting trying to do this with the camera because I'm trying to be mindful of what you all can see. So I have to make sure that I'm also mindful that I'm doing this right for myself. So I'm going to pin up this top part and I'm going to double check this part, see if it's about how I want it, but this is what I've got. So I have a mirror here. It's a double-sided mirror. I'm going to use the normal side because I don't need the magnifying side. Check that part out that I just did. So it's kind of crooked. So I'm just going to put my finger where that crooked part is and go across there again. And I'm going to double check. Still somewhat crooked in there. Another comb. Good to have multiple combs. So you find the one that you're comfortable with using for different things. Let me check it here first. Okay, so that's better. That's a better part. So I'm gonna go with that. Okay. Now I was watching a couple people trim their hair on YouTube. And I have trimmed my own hair before, but I was thinking about trying this method. So the the one lady at least combed her hair to the front. She said the part that's in the middle, you want it closer to the neck. So you want to comb the middle part closer to the neck, and then the outside part, keep it on the further end. So I'm going to do that first. And I think I'm going to be using this comb to guide. So it's small tooth comb, but a little bit bigger on one end, smaller on the other end. So I'm just going to kind of follow the pattern that my hair is already in. I'm going to slide my fingers to the ends. There's not a whole lot there, but I'm going to cut off that scraggly stuff. So I got some shears. I'll go ahead and cut that. Let me make sure I got that angle right. Make sure it's flipped first so that the middle part is toward the neck. And then just kind of follow the way it's already going. All right, so I'm going to cut off those scraggly ends using my fingers as a guide. It's just a beautiful feeling to have your hair freshly trimmed and not have to worry about all of those like tangles. So I didn't cut off a whole lot, just like mostly the part that's like uneven, but it'll feel great just to not have your hair tangling up on itself. So I'm gonna follow a similar thing for this side. You can start by combing it, since it's already straight, with like the bigger end of the small tooth comb, but then you might want to switch to the smaller end. And then I'm gonna kind of compare the two sides so I can get it pretty even. So I'm gonna cut off this scraggly part. I like that word, scraggly. Scraggles. There. It looks better. It's gonna feel better trying to get through it. And yeah. So just double check it a little bit. All those areas of breakage or split ends, not fun. So let me comb it down and see how that works. I'm combing it with the larger side. And that's what we're working with. So I didn't take off that much, but it's worth it. Hair looks healthier, it feels healthier, behaves healthier when those ends that just are causing issues, when they're gone, it's just a lot better for the hair. All right, so I'll get her clip that section out of the way. So that one's done. I'm gonna go ahead and figure out how should I do the rest of this now. So let me comb it down again over here. comb this side this way. And my hair still has that flat iron burnt smell, which I don't like it. So I'm planning to put some essential oil on it at the end to make it smell nicer anyway. But if you're using essential oil, you don't want to put it directly on the scalp without a carrier oil. That wouldn't be what they would advise. I'm saying I haven't done that, but it's just not advisable. Okay, so part 2. Try to make sure you don't get the part that you already clipped. So I'm gonna try to get the fluffiness out again some, because there could be hair hiding in there that you aren't aware of. You want to make sure that you get it combed down where it needs to be. And you can kind of see, if you can see from the camera, it's already falling like an angled pattern. So to begin, I'm just gonna kind of follow that pattern that it's already going in. So let's see what happens if I part it right here and comb it out again. So I just parted that section in two. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Did I go behind the ear a little bit? Yeah. Looks like a little bit behind the ear. All right. So I'm parting that side in two also. And I'm going to pin this up. Okay, so finding that pattern was already kind of there. I stretch it out again. Just trying to, any bunched up hair, you want to try to pull it from under there and get it straightened out. All right, so if I pull it to the ends, you can kind of see that it has like this angle to it. And you can see where the ends are thinned out is more where it needs to be clipped, right? So I'm going to, again, split this section right here in half, but this time I'm going top and bottom. So I'm going to put this aside and work in smaller sections, which tends to be true of natural hair. Working in sections tends to be helpful a lot of times. So, combing that through again. Don't want any hairs hiding in there. Okay, and then you want to kind of get it to the point where the hair is kind of pulled evenly. So I'm going to stretch it right here. And here's the end of it. Okay. So that's what I'm going to be working off of. Now I can't see much of an angle right here. But if you want layers, you would want to go with the top of it being the shorter part and the bottom of it being the longer part if you're trying to retain the length of your hair. I'm probably going to take off less than I need to because I want to retain length. So There's a lot of straggly ends in there. So I'm gonna angle my hand a little bit this way, kind of going like, not this, but like this. So angling my fingers, going that way a little bit, and pull it to where I want to take off those ends. Which this is a little bit, kind of a lot, but let me see. I think I want to take off even less. It's better to take off less because you can't add your hair back, but you can take off more if you need to. So I'm going to go about right here and go to there's still that more that can be taken off. I'm going to take off a little bit more, but I like my length, so I'm going to keep length. So there. So that section's done. It's kind of layered going this way. And then I'm going to go check the very bottom because sometimes I'm noticing that it looks like the ends that are a little bit scraggly still get left on the longest part of the hair. So I'm going to go back and get that a little bit better. Because I don't want that pulling on my healthy hair. I'm going to take care of those knotty parts and stuff. Okay. So now I have this section over here waiting on the other side. And I still need to part it in half from bottom to top. So I'm going to do that. Okay. And pin up this side. Now, I've not gone to salon school, so don't blame me. Blame me for anything. This is just something I'm doing. If you like it, you can try it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. You can just watch me. I have a tendency to experiment. So sometimes experimenting takes risking. But it's all right. Then keep taking care of it. See, keep taking care of my hair. So it's going to continue to be healthy. All right. So pull out any hidden ends with the comb there and stretch it to the point where the hair is kind of stretched out evenly. So you don't want it to be down here, you don't want it to be up here, you want it to be where this hair is kind of pulled evenly from the roots. And now your angle is going to be this way, not this way, because the longer ends are at the bottom. So you want to go toward the way you're cutting it being the longer side of the angle at the bottom. So you're going to angle up. Right? So I'm going to take it down. See that? I'm going to do that one more time. Take your time to get it where you need to have it because, like I said, once you take it off, you can't put it back on. But if you take off a smaller amount, then you can go back and take off more if you need to. But I tried to get into a stylist today, and she didn't have any openings, and I'm not used to going to stylists anyway. I usually just do my own hair. So, and I was debating about it anyway, so I just decided, yeah, I'm just gonna do it myself. Go ahead and cut off those ends. Happy hair. Healthy hair is happy hair. All right. It's better to not have double split ends and knots, that you're kind of having to pull through when you're doing your hair. All right, so that's those two sections. So I'm going to combine it with the back. Ouch, something getting pulled. Okay. Oops. So this is how it's looking on both sides so far. Right. I like heavy looking hair too. So if you want your hair to look like thicker and heavier, it's better to have ends that are more even. Just gonna go through and just trim off little bits. Okay, so that's that part. And get that out of the way. And move to the next section. Okay, so I'm going to clip that now. And keep moving. All right, so now I'm working with the top half of the sections that I had parted off. Same thing, comb it out with the big tooth comb if you need to first. Then go in with the small tooth comb. I'm using the big side again of the small tooth comb. Now I'm going to use the small side of the small tooth comb and try to pull up hidden hairs or bunched up hairs from the roots. All right. So there's kind of a lot that really could come off here, but I'm probably not going to take off everything that needs to come off right now. I'm going to take off the part that I want to take off, which is a plus of doing your own hair too. Only person you have to blame is you if you cut too much. So same thing, kind of, but I'm going to go closer to the ends. The middle of my hair had some breakage, so I really don't want to make that too short either. But if you're doing layers, you still want to angle to where the bottom section of the hair is the longer part. So this angle is going down this way. All right. So that's what I've got now. And I'm going to pay a little extra attention actually to the crown up here because sometimes that part I feel like can be a little bit scraggly for me. So let me just go in and see if there's anything else I want to do up there. I guess not too much. So there's that. So I'm going to comb that down and move to the other side. So far I've been working with 6 sections for the most part, 6 large sections. So the thing with this, with my hair being shorter up here, it's gonna be kind of like the way I'm doing it too. It has angles, so the angles are gonna create layers, and it's gonna be shorter at the top and then longer at the bottom, which I prefer more, I guess, if the crown was longer. But I'm working against breakage, and you want to make sure that the breakage in there isn't pulling on hair too. So pay a little bit more attention to that if you need to. But I just decided right now not to take anything extra off from what I already took. All right, so coming at the large end and then comb with the small end. To me, this section is already really looking longer than the other section was. You can compare side to side if you need to. Right now, I'm just going to focus on what I want to take off. So, let's see again, there's some straggly ends up there. That's all right. When you learn that your hair is doing that, if you know you're not moisturizing it enough, just let it be a notice that you need to moisturize your hair better. Okay, so I'm gonna go for some of these thinning parts, and this is interesting. It's interesting working on the different sides, because one side you'll probably feel like your dominant hand has more control, unless you're like 100% ambidextrous, or you cut with both hands naturally anyway. But this angle on this side is going to go this way because the long side is toward the end of my hand. So since this part is going to be the part that falls down, I want to keep that part long because, as I was saying, I'm working with length retention. So I'm going to go in, and once I decide where I want to cut and trim, should I say, maybe some people would consider it a cut, but whatever. I get that stretched to where I need it to be, then I can trim it, but just take your time so that you don't do what you don't want to do. And I still feel like this angle is weird. So you can go out this way too, but you still want to make sure you can get a good grip so that you can trim where you want. You can pull the hair up to where you need it. And my arm is tired. So that's also playing into what's going on. Natural hair takes a lot of work. That's okay. Be stronger for it in the end. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball some of this. I'm not cutting all the way down to where my fingers are right now, but kind of along that same angle. Felt like I was having a little trouble on this side, so it's all right. It's all good. All right. So that's what I got for this side. Okay. And these were new shears I just opened. Where I got them from is in question and questionable, because some stylists might get on my case if I say where I might have gotten them from, but I've had them for a while, so I'm not completely sure if where I got them from is where I'm thinking I got them from, but whatever. So I still feel like some of that could use a deeper job, which is another reason I want it to go to a stylist, is because I know that they're trained in this. And so if they need to go, you know, go into the layers more, they can. They you know, they're trained for that, hopefully. But it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. And I kind of enjoy trying some of this out myself anyway, so it's all good. Okay, so here's the section. So this part I can see in front of me, so I'm just holding it in front of my face where I can see it. So that's what it did in the front there. All right. And here's the last big section. You can go in there and clean it up some more if you need to. Take smaller sections and kind of hold them at that angle. But you don't want to get scissor crazy and be like, oh, I missed, this isn't too even, this isn't even like the other side, and then end up cutting a bunch of extra. So don't worry about it. You know, if it's not perfect, it's okay. I like things being pretty, you know, clean and set myself, but sometimes perfectionism, just trying to do it all, you know, by yourself, I can sometimes end up getting in the way of things too. All right. So here is this section. I'm actually wondering if I cut off quite a bit more on this side than this side. Well, let's see. Okay. So combing it down. If I compare the two sides, it doesn't look that much different. Okay, so I'm gonna take this clip out of the back because I'm combing it now. And take a look at what's been done. So this is what I got. Just turn slowly. And I'll comb it to the back and you can see how the back looks. But that'll take care of some of those split ends, knotting, dead ends. So it's nice. So let me see it now. So I was able to retain a lot of the length in the back, at least, especially. Um, this is about the longest that I took off, but you know, part of that is a lot of like thin ends, thin, and they're like kind of, some of them might be kind of dead, and it's just good to get that out. And you can go back in, like I said, and clean it up if you need to. If you feel like it needs more, because I know it's not a perfect job that I just did, but it's good enough. It's good enough. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found it helpful, and that you can keep on your healthy hair journey, keep moisturizing, take your time with it, which is sometimes easier said than done, but appreciating what God gave us and working with your natural hair and helping it grow, learning how to keep it healthy, and just letting it bless you. All right. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me on Learning with Natural Hair. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.